Welcome back, Crew Cats. This is a Crew Corner special report. My name is Matt, and be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, click the bell, and stay up to date on all the latest content from Crew Corner. So, I wanted to do this video today in response to the Bill Bush article regarding the emerging fiscal love triangle that is developing between Columbus Crew SC, Nationwide, and the city of Columbus. I haven't really seen it talked about or responded to much in detail, so this might wind up being a long one, but this is one that I feel like does need to be addressed in some specific detail, just so everyone has a full understanding of the proper context for it. And this is something that's not going away, because, like I said, the three are now in this inexplicable fiscal love triangle for at least the next 6 years. And, this deal actually even got mentioned in the jersey sponsorship article from the end of February. So this is something that was known and was out there, but it was not something anyone had really unpacked the details on until yesterday. Full disclosure, I did used to work for Nationwide. I left the company in 2017, and that was by choice. I don't really have anything bad to say about the company, my managers, or anyone in particular that I worked with. But even with the job opportunities that are available to me there now, it's just not something I'm particularly interested in going back to. So to properly contextualize all of this, you actually have to go all the way back to 2009 in November, and that was when the casino bill passed in Ohio, allowing for 4 casinos to be built in Cleveland, Toledo, Columbus, and Cincinnati. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of that bill because that's not really what this video is about, but just know that compared to what other states were getting in their casino bills and their deals from the gaming companies, Ohio got hosed. That's the long and short of it. But more importantly to this story, Franklin County voted 58% against the bill. This was not something that the people of Franklin County and the city of Columbus wanted, and that's why the Columbus Casino is on Georgesville Road off of Broad Street and not downtown in the Arena District. It just wasn't something people wanted to begin with. And, this may be wishful thinking or just being very generous on the part of the city officials, but I have a hunch that the city officials knew this as they went into negotiations with Nationwide to purchase the arena. So in 2012, right about the same time Hollywood Casino is opening up its doors here in Columbus, the City of Columbus Convention Center Authority purchased the arena from Nationwide, taking out a loan from Nationwide to do so. It's kind of like when you buy a new Ford, you get a loan from Ford Motor Credit. However, in this particular scenario, in the terms of this deal, it stated that only the tax dollars generated from the casino could be collected upon from the city. Nationwide could not collect against property taxes, which are the taxes paid for by people like, you and me, either annually if you're a homeowner, or if you rent, I guarantee your landlord is factoring them into your lease rates. And, these taxes go to all sorts of things like that, schools, roads, libraries, the Columbus Zoo, MRDD support, water and sewage maintenance, and many more. Basically, they finance a civilized society. By 2015, though, it had become obvious that this deal was not working out for Nationwide because Hollywood Casino was not generating the tax revenue they had projected, which was obvious if they had looked at the voting results for the casino bill in Franklin County. Also, believing the revenue projections requires you to assume that a gaming company is not going to work the system to try to dodge as many taxes as possible, and if you believe that, then I have a bridge to sell you. So it was reported in Columbus Business Journal, and I've included the link below in the description, that Nationwide was looking for ways to renegotiate the terms of their agreement with the city of Columbus, and that the new head of the City Convention Center Authority, Don Brown, was willing to work with them. Now fast forward to January of 2019. Save the Crew has come to fruition. Anthony Precourt is no more. Tim Bezpachenko and Caleb Porter are being introduced. Don Garber is up there getting booed, and he's taking his boos like a champion. He's just up there like, I deserve this. I deserve this. And most importantly, Dee Haslam announces that the crew and the city are making joint plans for a new downtown stadium. Now, if there is any culpability on the crew on this one, and that is a big if, it's right here. MLS had already set a deadline of March 1st, 2019 to get a deal done for a new stadium, and the club publicly announced that that deal was nearing its conclusion. And that was all Nationwide needed to seize on this opportunity. In February 2019, as Bush cites in his article, Nationwide Realty Investments President Brian Ellis set new terms of the Nationwide Arena deal to the Columbus Convention Center Authority Executive Director Don Brown. The same Don Brown who said in 2015 he was willing to rework the new arena deal to ensure proper payment back to Nationwide. The new deal required property taxes to be used for payment on the Nationwide Arena loan, much of which on those payments and that revenue was just interest from the years where the casino revenue was paying little to nothing on that arena loan. So it's not even paying the principal of what they actually paid for as far as the value of the building is concerned. It's just carried interest over from years of it just not getting paid for. The message also insisted on a meeting as soon as possible because, quote, "We are trying to respect the crew's deadline of March 1st. That's the deadline set by MLS to have a deal in place for a new stadium." Nationwide owns all the land in the arena district. So when you hear, quote, "We are trying to respect the crew's deadline of March 1st, in regards to a deal that had nothing to do with the Columbus Crew SC, that is corporate speak for rewrite the terms of our deal with Nationwide Arena or we're not going to do this deal with you and the crew. This put the city of Columbus in a pickle. They never wanted to use taxpayer dollars on Nationwide Arena, but they had also just announced that they were building a new stadium with the crew a month ago. I want you to flash back to early 2019, right after the crew had been officially saved. David had beaten Goliath. The jubilation and it was real and it was deserved because honestly, folks, the reality is Goliath wins the overwhelming majority of the time. And just imagine after all that time, all that thankless hard work, all those phone calls, all the hopes, thoughts, prayers, and dreams of crew fans everywhere, to have the rug pulled out from you like that 2 months later, we would have lost our minds. We would have rioted. We would have burned One Nationwide Plaza and possibly City Hall to the ground. There is no way the city was going to risk the wrath of Save the Crew and the PR nightmare that would ensue. But at the same time, Nationwide is the third largest private employer in the city behind crew sponsor Ohio Health and Chase Bank. So they've got pull. They do. And if you're the city, you're not going to throw your third biggest employer under the bus, even though I think they should have done just that and just let Save the Crew take care of the rest. But I understand not wanting to upset them. So they did what every local government does when it's faced with an unexpected spending proposal. They try to cram it through under a vague name and hope that no one catches them with their pants down. Which, to be fair, that did work for a year. In conclusion, Nationwide Realty Investments used the Crew SC and the Save the Crew movement as leverage to renegotiate a deal with the city that had nothing to do with Crew SC to begin with. That's a dick move, Nationwide. That is a dick move. You use the club and you use the movement to weasel your way out of a bad deal, and we and the club had nothing to do with it. And then on top of that, for those of us who live here in Columbus, you're now taking our tax dollars to make up for the losses on the bad deal that you made. Dick move. So where does the crew and the fans fall into this from here? Nationwide is paying Columbus Crew SC $18 million over 6 years to be their jersey sponsor, and rumors are swirling that they will be the new stadium sponsor as well. So much of this does still depend on if Nationwide is going to be the stadium sponsor and what the terms of that deal are going to be. But if the city is paying millions of taxpayer dollars to Nationwide and Nationwide is giving millions of sponsorship dollars to the crew, that means the city is giving millions of taxpayer dollars to the crew. Even though the club and the movement had nothing to do with this deal whatsoever, it still looks like we are if Nationwide is slapping their logo all over our shirts and stadium. Couple that with the city's continued misrepresentation of how much they're willing to commit to the stadium. Again, nothing to do with the crew, it's just the city continuing to lie about how much they're actually spending on this. It's just PR hit after PR hit. And now, I understand there may be some animosity between Bill Bush and the crew over the Obet's training facility. I'm not sure if he's the same guy who wrote those hit pieces, so don't quote me on that. Substantively speaking, though, he's on point in his article from yesterday. And that's really neither here nor there. It's about where do we go from here? And what do we as the fans do from here? And really, the best thing we can do is to step out of our bubbles and just promote the hell out of this team. Because ultimately, if the crew's going to be taking all this money that could possibly be coming from the city, it is the club's job and our job to make sure that the product on the field is one that is worth buying into, because the people will have already cut the checks. And we can do it. We can do this. The infrastructure is in place. The outreach is in place. You know, in addition to Crew Corner, there's like 10 other podcasts out there in the city dedicated to covering the crew. We can do this without anyone's help. I mean, come on. We saved the crew. And there is so much more we have to offer. The hardest part may be over, but the game has just begun. Thanks for watching my video today. I know this was a long one, but I thought this story really did need to be fleshed out and put into a little bit more of a context. If you have anything to add, or if you disagree with anything I've covered, or if you think there are points that are missing, please leave a comment. I do read all the comments, and I try to respond to all of them. I would love to talk with a few other folks who are more tapped into and in the know on the business end of the crew. I would love to hear from Keith Nas or Charles Campesino regarding the city stance on this. But this is something that we're kind of going to have to deal with. Like, the city, the club, and Nationwide, we're all in this together now, whether we like it or not. As always, be sure to like, share, subscribe, click the bell, stay up to date on everything we got coming up for you this season. For Crew Corner, my name is Matt, and we'll see you in the next video.